Hello, guys. Welcome to the Witness Without Identity channel, guys. So the election is over. We are witnessing it, right? It's over. We finally got through this. But guys, before the election, there was a lot of prediction about what will happen if it's Trump or Biden. And Carl Kulinski had a quite an interesting video. I think it's quite interesting, and I hope that you guys can hear what he's saying. It's Carl Kulinski from Circular Talk, and you're gonna hear the audio, and we're gonna talk about it. It's quite interesting. He's talking about what would be the best case scenario if Biden wins the election, and what is the worst case scenario. And I want you guys to listen to it. Let me know what you think. I will be with you while we are listening to this. Pretty telling, because now you're gonna let me know whether we have the worst case or best case. Because I think I don't know. I will explain to you after we listen. But here it is.
Steal that idea and tell crystal ball of Rising did an interesting segment, and she's done now multiple of these where she lays out, hey, here's what I think best case scenario for Trump would look like, a best case scenario for Biden, a worst case scenario for Trump, and a worst case scenario for Biden. So she's laying out what she thinks would happen in those scenarios. And I kind of wanted to steal that idea and tell you guys what I think that would look like. So I want to start here with a best case scenario for a Biden win. So we have the election coming up. Let's say Biden wins. Let's say he wins in a landslide. Fast forward past, Trump throwing his temper tantrum and the crisis and whatever, and Biden's in office, okay? What really is a best case scenario where that would make me the happiest, that would make the country, I would argue, it would make the country be in the best place that it could be. So, first of all, it would be a Democratic supermajority. You'd have the Democrats crushed so thoroughly that there would be a Democratic supermajority. And then with that supermajority, they would do some basic positive things. Now, listen, I don't have my head up my ass. I know what they're likely to do in a situation like that. I know that it's not nearly as far as I would like them to go. But realistically speaking, if we have a Democratic supermajority, we have a Democratic White House. What are some things that I could see them doing? I could definitely see them expanding Medicaid and covering more people with health insurance. Do I think they'll be able to get like a public option? Probably not. Probably don't think they'd do that. But they would do something to expand healthcare coverage to more people. I do think they would do that. The details of it, the specifics of it will be infuriating. You'll still have the health insurance companies in control and all that stuff. But I do think they'll do that. They will expand Medicaid, expand health insurance through some sort of way that's too technocratic, but nonetheless will give some people health insurance. I do think they'll do a $15 minimum wage. In fact, it already passed the House. They already voted it through the House. If you have a Democratic Senate and you have a Democratic President, I do think they'll sign a $15 minimum wage into law, which would be amazing. The other thing is, I just think they'd handle COVID better. I think that Biden would do some sort of national mask program where he would, get more masks to people. I think we would increase testing capacity. I think.
Okay, so I just want to stop it here. So you see, like, here Carl Kulinski is giving us something about, like, if this is before the election, before the result of the election. I don't know how long was this. I think it happened on, this is the end of October. He made this video. So he's talking about, hey, this will be the best case scenario. So basically the Democrats have a supermajority in the Senate and the House, and that's not what has happened. The Republican hold on to a lot of seats on the Senate. So it's not a Democrat Senate or a Democrat House of Representatives. So which means that this election is only a referendum against Trump. It's not a referendum against the Republican Party. It's just about Trump. So is it a referendum? Because we cannot even say that, because Trump was quite popular. He got 70 million votes and Biden got 75 million. So it was just a fight, but many people really came out against Trump also. 75 million, that's a lot of people. But people still believe in Trump too, but they were a little bit less. So this is the way I look at it, guys. So many people still agree with the Republican ideology, the Republican viewpoint. They do not. Many people don't like the. Many people don't like Trump, and so he's saying that the best case scenario, if the Democrat will hold on to the Senate, and there will be like a blue wave, and it's totally not what has happened. And there's no blue wave, none. You know, I mean, this was a bloodbath, but it seems that the Republicans did pretty well under a Democrat president, elected president. So the Republicans should not complain at all. They got what they wanted. You know, they can move on with their life. Let Trump go, and then that's it. You got a Republican Senate, a Republican House of Representatives, and everything will be okay. All right, so I'm going to continue, and then you guys can. We're going to discuss it. Okay.
I think we would probably better off in terms of having hospitals fully funded. Now, I don't think he would do a national mask mandate because he already indicated he would just incentivize the states to do it themselves. I don't know if he views himself as having the authority to do it, so maybe he wouldn't go far enough, but I still think we handle COVID better, and the death count under a Biden administration will be a little bit less than what it would be under a Trump administration. It's possible, in a best case scenario, that they find some way of getting new stimulus checks to people. That'll be really difficult because no Republicans are going to break ranks, but if you have the Democratic numbers, you might be able to get stimulus checks to people. I think for sure they'll get us back in the Iran deal, which would be amazing. I think for sure they'll get us back in the Paris Climate Agreement, which would be amazing and definitely necessary. I think that there's a chance that you could have slightly increased taxes on corporations and the wealthy. I don't think it'll be nearly enough, but I think it will be something. And then,
guys, I'm sorry to tell you, under the Republican Senate that we just have and the House of Representatives, I don't think it's going to be easy to increase taxes on corporation. It's not going to be that easy. The left. I don't know what's going on with the left, the progressive movement. For me, it seems like there are factions of it that are winning. Ocasio-Cortez won her seat. Elon Musk won her seat. All those people won her seat. But there's a lot of people that are still for the Republican Party. Some Republican Party's ideas. And that's even including me in some instances. So I'm not for Republican. I think I like some idea of the left, some idea of the right. But I'm the kind of guy that's shopping. So nobody's winning totally. But I understand both sides. I try to be as neutral as possible when I look at those situations. But increasing taxes on the rich and the corporation, I don't think it's gonna happen. Not under Biden and Kamala. I don't think it's gonna be possible. Let's see, guys. I don't know. This is a tough one.
and I could also see some sort of infrastructure deal getting through. I could definitely see some sort of infrastructure deal getting through. So those are the things that would happen in a best case scenario for a Joe Biden win, where Joe Biden is the least disappointing possible. Now, what about the Republicans under this scenario? Well, I think that this might be one of the biggest upsides in this scenario, but I think the Republican Party can be completely fractured. Completely fractured. And I also think the media in this situation would be sympathetic to a Biden administration, regardless of what the Biden administration does. So if the Biden administration acts very conservative, they'll defend it. If the Biden administration goes slightly left, they'll defend it. Because I think the media, by and large, CNN, MSNBC, they're corporate Democrat apologists. But the Republican Party, so if Trump gets destroyed, well, then you have that 30% block of the country that are the diehard Trump people. They're going to just be convinced it was stolen from him and that he won. And then you'll have, in D.C., the entire elite Republican class, the Republican establishment, they can't wait to get to a post-Trump era. They want more of a Mitt Romney-style Republican politics. And so you're going to have the 30% of the base that's like, we don't want that. We want Trump. We think it was stolen from him. And then you'll have the elite saying, no, we have to try this. We have to go in this direction. Same policies, but different aesthetic. And I honestly think you can have a fracture that is long-lasting. You got the Trump-style Republicans, who formerly were more Tea Party types, and then you got the elite Republicans. And there can be a clash there, not necessarily on policy, but on everything else, and the divisions can be deep enough where even a really shitty Democratic Party that never really does the right thing, they could get some positive stuff done. So anyway, that's what I think would be a best case scenario for a Biden win, where I would be least upset with it. Notice, there's nothing on the list about getting Medicare for all, because he's not for Medicare for all. I didn't really say anything about ending the wars, because I don't think he's going to end the wars. Even in the best case scenario, Biden would draw down troops to like 2,000 or 3,000 in Afghanistan or Iraq and leave them there. So I'll add that to the list. He'll draw down more troops in there, but I don't think he'll pull them all out at all. So there's nothing about ending the wars, there's nothing about a Green New Deal, there's nothing about Medicare for all. We could sit here and go through every single issue, but I think you get the gist of it. It would be inching in a centrist direction, which is better than an extreme right-wing direction, and you can only hope for what people are saying now that are on the left, that they're right, and that, oh yeah, we'll keep fighting him once he's elected. But unfortunately, I think it's very likely that people aren't going to fight Biden once he gets elected, because he gets elected, and then, the same people who criticize him, like I do now, will just be accused of helping the Republican Party by criticizing Biden. Because we've been through this before. If you criticized Obama in Obama's term, they would look at you and say, why are you helping Republicans? Even though you're criticizing Obama from the left. So unfortunately, even if people try to push him left, which I'm not sure they'll even do that, but even if they try to push him left, he ain't going left. But I'm still giving you a realistic best case scenario where there are minor things that go in a positive direction.
So guys, what do you think? So yeah, he made some couple of great points there. I don't think Biden's going to end the war. Medicare for all, I don't think he's going to pass that. But I think when it comes to the Republican Party, he said that the Republican Party it might be fractured if it's a Biden, if the best case scenario for Biden. I don't think that's what we have. But let's see. We never know. He might be right. We have to see this one play out. But from now, it looks like the Republican Party is as united forever. I cannot say that because there are people in the Republican Party that say that, hey, Trump, it's time for you to go. And there are other people that say, no, we have to fight, we have to sue. So this is something we have to wait for it to play out. But this is a pretty interesting one that Carl had here. And I'm going to have another one, what is the worst case scenario for Biden. That's interesting too, so I'm going to have that right after this one. All right, see you guys. Thank you.